the video for the extra practice for the probability. If you are having trouble with the binomial, the geometric part, that's really primarily here on the front page, numbers 1, 2, and 3. So you might just want to really practice that part. Um, so for number 1A, it's the probability that we have exactly 2. So those can be sprinkled anywhere. So therefore, I've got to do probability of exactly 2. This is the binomial formula, and point 2 is the probability of the one never have been married. The woman has never been married, okay? And so that's what this one is asking about. So 2 of them have never been married, 8 of them have. And then when you put that into your calculator this way, so over here, I say how to put that into your calculator, comes out at 31% about. Well, looks like 30.2% actually. Okay, B, if at most, okay, so here we have at most. So if you look at my little picture over here on the left, I do not need the 3 up to 10. I want the 0, 1, and 2. And the calculator accumulates from the bottom. So it will accumulate that if you do the binomial CDF of 10.2 up to and including 2. Okay? And so that's 67.78%. Now, C is interesting, and then in that it says at least 8 have been married. So in this problem, I changed my probability of success because I'm talking about have been married is 0.8. So that meant that I want 8 or more that have been married. That's the 0.8 to the 8th power. 0.2 is to the 2 power. Okay, and I do not want this bottom part, so I'm going to subtract off this part that the calculator gives me. So the calculator will give me, it'll accumulate 10 comma 0.8 comma 7, and then I will take that part away to get the 8, 9, and 10. 67.75. Now, I'll tell you number 2A got me this afternoon when I was looking at that one again, because it just says what happens on the 5th shard that was examined. It does not say anything about the previous 4. So that to me was kind of a trick question. It doesn't say the first time it gets examined is the first time you find one is the 5th one. It does not say that the first 4 are not and then the 5th one is. Okay? It just says purely information about the 5th one. And so since all you want to know is about the 5th one, it's that 5% chance that it's black, it's Socorro black on white. All right, then the next one is geometric because it's telling you the specific order. It's saying the first one that happens. So see, now it is telling you that on the 10th trial, this is the 10th one, that's where that will occur. If you want to do calculator, it is geometric PDF because it is talking about, in particular, it occurs in the 10th spot. C, more than 3 shards have to be examined before you find one. Okay, you can do this a couple of ways. I actually think I have the most confusing way written here. So here's an easier way, I think. It says more than 3 have to be examined before you find one. All right, so let's kind of simplify this. More than 3 have to be examined before you find one. If you simplify this, that is saying the first one is not it. The second one is not it. The third one is not it. Okay? That means somewhere out here it occurs. I don't care where it occurs out there. It could occur 4th, 5th, 6th, whatever. All I am specifying is that the first, the second, and the third are not it. So it works if you do your 0.95 to the 3rd power, and that gives you this 85.74. Now, I had done it a very much more difficult way. previously, and you can look at that work there if you want to look at that. Now, number 3, I also was looking at this afternoon and found that while I showed the work correctly and I showed this correctly on the how the calculator process should work out, this number is not correct. I don't even know exactly what it comes out. I think it's 0.55 or 54 or something. I'm not real sure, but it's somewhere about that. It's not what I have written there at 0.145. This is the correct calculator process for this problem because you want no more than 9. So you want from 0 to 9. And this one, you want more than 6. That means you want the 7th to the 50th one. And if you want more than 6, you need to take off the bottom 6. So you are actually taking off the bottom 6 because you want more than 6. You don't want the 6th one. All right. Now we get to formula. What's the expected value? N times P. And standard deviation, that's also straight up formula. Number 4 is also going to be straight up formula, but do notice it says what's the expected to not get poison ivy. So that probability is 0.92 because the probability of getting poison ivy is 8%. Just watch your knots on that. Okay, 5 is about the rule that means can combine. So the means can straight up just add like normal, but these standard deviations cannot add like normal. You have to do the Pythagorean theorem of statistics. This standard deviation squared plus this standard deviation squared, and then you take the square root. All right, number 6 is a normal model, okay, and this is about the difference between what's happening. And this one here is very much going to be like a free response on the test, okay? So number 6 on the extra practice is going to be like a free response on the test. You have to find, I did boys minus girl, the mean of it, and then the standard deviation. Notice that the boys minus girl, the standard deviation is still a plus there. Now, you need to find this location where the boys and the girls are equal. That is a 0 there, okay? Or let me see what this says. You know, actually, that's not true. It says, what's the approximate probability that the boy grabs no more than 5? Okay, interesting. So instead of this being where one is more than the other, it's talking about this difference between them is 5. So you want to find the location that the difference between them is 5. Okay? And here, the boy minus girl is less than 5. Here, boy minus girl is higher than 5. So I want the left because I want where the boy minus girl is no more than 5. So I have that z-score here, and then I do the lower portion of it. So I norm CDF from negative infinity to negative 55 or 0.5548. All right, now number 7. Number 7 is interesting. You can just add together all of those means, but the standard deviations, once again, cannot just straight up add. You have to do the Pythagorean theorem. So you're doing 3 squared plus 4 squared plus 2 squared plus 4 squared plus 6 squared, and then the square root of that to get the combined standard deviation of the entire team as 9. And what's the probability that the team score will be lower than 396? So that's your x value. So your mean is 416. Your x value is 396 with the standard deviation from the previous problem. And so you're just calculating the norm CDF from negative 99 to that z-score of negative 2.22. All right, number 8 is doing the formula on this, which you could do on the formula chart. You could also put this into list 1 and this in list 2 and do one variable stats of L1, comma, L2. All right, and that's how you get your mean and your standard deviation. B, the purpose of B is just to see if you know that the mean is affected by addition and subtraction. So when you put 1,300 into this equation, it is affected by 5 minus 2 times the mean. However, the standard deviation is only affected by the multiplication by -2. So it's -2 times that number. And 9 is putting in this, they're equally likely, so I made it a probability distribution. Okay, so I set up a little table right here. And then you can do the L1 and the list 2 and the one variable stats of these to get the mean and the standard deviation. And 10 is just like 8b in that it's asking you to take your mean from number 9 and your standard deviation from number 9 and put it through this transformation right here. And when you put it through that transformation, the mean is affected by addition and multiplication, but the standard deviation is only affected by the multiplication part. All right, I think we're almost done here. Number 11 is, again, just simple. Can you find the combined of the two variables, and can you find the difference of the two variables? So adding them together, so doing the x plus y, the means straight up add, and that's fine. The standard deviation of x plus y, the mean, or the standard deviations, go through the Pythagorean theorem where it's 6 squared plus 8 squared. Now let's look at the mean for the difference. The difference, x minus y, the means subtract like normal. The standard deviation for x minus y, look at it is the same answer as when you combined the standard deviations. So subtracting the standard deviations is the same as adding the standard deviations. They both do the Pythagorean theorem of statistics, and they combine under the radical. All right, and then number 12 is also, again, doing this exact same thing with the difference. In fact, this number 12 is almost identical to the problem that's on the chapter 16 warm-up. Okay, so I find the difference in their medical care. $70 difference in the medical care. The dog was more in this case, with a standard deviation of 46.10. Okay, once you do that, the question is, where is the expenses, what's the probability that the expenses are higher for the dog than the cat? All right, well, so on average, the dog is $70 more. Okay, and so if you find this location where dog minus cat is 0, 0 is where they are equal. So if you have this positive difference to the right, the dog is more. If you have this negative difference, because dog minus cat is a negative number, then that means cat costs more. So on the right, dog costs more, and on the left, cat costs more on this problem. So I found the location of this equality where dogs equal the cats. It's a z-score of -1.518. And then I want to find the area to the right of that. So I norm CDF from that -1.518 to 99. So what I'm saying is that 93.55% of the time, there's that chance that someone's dog is going to cost more than their cat in medical costs for that year. Okay, that's it. So hopefully you have gotten all the rest of those correct, and you can come to the tutorials and ask me any questions before the test tomorrow if you need to.